know the impact nutrition has on chronic diseases, but did you know it can also affect your mental health? It kind of makes sense. Our next experts explain why you are what you eat.
Well, maybe we've heard it before.
You are what you eat?
Well, I was about to get
You're going to get to that one.
Yes. So good food, good mood.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah. So, and then what you just said, you are what you eat. So science is definitely going more in that direction to show us the connection between nutrition and mental health, whereas in past there's a strong focus of nutrition and chronic diseases. So we know the impact that nutrition has in preventing and managing conditions like heart disease and also certain cancers and diabetes. But now we're really, it's always been there, but it's like we're finally digging deep, and there's starting to be more research in the connection between nutrition and mental health and also the psychology behind eating.
And Nicole, it kind of makes sense because I think it's true that if children eat a lot of sugar, they get hyperactive, right?
Right, yeah, they do. You know, food definitely affects us in many different ways. And I think it's not just how it can affect us physically, but then emotionally. You know, how do you feel when you eat that slice of chocolate cake? You feel great for those, you know, first couple of minutes, but then afterwards for a lot of people, then the
crash.
Guilt, the crash comes in, the guilt over what did I eat? I shouldn't have eaten that. So there's a lot of different things that it's not only good for you and then also sometimes bad for you, but then emotionally also has an effect.
That's true. There's that big guilt after you have a big chocolate cake, and then it's like, well, why'd you have
the
it?
Donuts that they just showed
And
there.
the donuts. Oh, enjoy the donuts. The U.S. Department of Agricultural Center for Nutrition Policy and Promotion introduces the My Plate, My Wins video series that shows you how small changes to what you eat and drink, they really add up. Take a look.
Healthy is important. The foods and drinks you choose for meals and snacks can help you be healthier now and in the future. And it's more than eating one healthy meal or one healthy snack. Your food choices add up and they all matter. So where to start? First, choose foods from all 5 food groups throughout the day and throughout the week. Fruits, vegetables, grains, protein foods, and dairy. Your fruits and vegetables can be fresh, frozen, dried, or canned. Try roasting or steaming them as a healthful option. Try starting your day with whole grains, like oatmeal or whole grain cereal. For extra flavor and crunch, add your favorite fruit or a handful of nuts. Stuck in the same old routine? Mix up your protein foods. Try seafood twice a week. And enjoy milk and yogurt in recipes or on their own. Read labels and ingredient lists to compare foods and choose healthier options. Across all of your choices, drink and eat less sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars. And hey, we know it's not always on a plate. It's about making shifts no matter where you are. Start with small changes to make healthier choices you can enjoy.
Oh, that's some great information there. Nicole, you know, it can't be a vicious cycle for someone with mental issues, you know, whether they eat too much or whether they're not eating enough. How do you break that cycle?
Right. So I love this video because I actually use the plate a lot when I'm working with my patients. And I remember working with this one patient that she struggled with what she ate. She struggled with bulimia and her self-image. And it was, you know, we were able to go through the research behind it. You know, she was able to rationalize that, okay, yes, these foods are healthy for me. But when it came to actually serving herself that plate, it was a fear of, no, I can't have that piece of bread, or I can't have, you know, the grains. I can't have this because that's going to make me gain weight. So I actually printed out the picture of the plate and I gave it to her, and I'm like, okay, you need to take this with you everywhere you go, whenever you're gonna go out to eat, and you need to fill up your plate like this. And then, you know, as you're doing that, then you tell yourself, it's okay that I'm eating this. I know the research behind this. I know that this is healthy. And little by little, she was able to reintroduce foods back into her diet and start to eat healthier.
Oh, that's fantastic. So there was a success story there.
Yes.
That's great. Lucette, how do you do that in terms of breaking the cycle and adding that nutrition to someone's life?
Sure. Well, when it comes to working with a registered dietitian, we are also medical nutrition therapists and also nutrition counselors. So we work with patients, but what Nicole just mentioned, her patient had an eating disorder. So there is a line that a dietitian can only go to a certain extent, whereas if in the world of eating disorders, you do have to work first with a mental health provider, and then when it's appropriate time, the dietitian can be introduced. So up to the point of, you know, with mental health on the side, if you do not have a history of an eating disorder or if you think you do have one, getting screened by your healthcare provider. But mental health on the side, a registered dietitian can work with you to help you reach your nutrition goals that take you into consideration, everything that makes you unique, from your culture to your medical history to your preferences and what you like and don't like. You can work with a registered dietitian.
Now, why do people have a negative feeling after some foods? Why is that? And I would just say it runs the gamut. Everybody, even someone that doesn't even have an issue. Why is that negative feeling?
Yeah,
instead of just enjoying it.
I think society puts so much into how we should look physically.
That's social media, huh?
And social media is part of it.
Here we go.
And movies, commercials, everything. It's there's that perfect body that even sometimes that one patient that I talked about, she was beautiful. She was beautiful inside out, but she's competing with this image that oftentimes is not reality. And when we feel like, okay, that's the image that we need to strive for, that's then when the guilt comes in, when you have, a meal that you shouldn't have had or a piece of chocolate, that's what then the message is that I shouldn't have eaten this, I'm bad.
Exactly. And then you start thinking things like, this is not good for me, I shouldn't have eaten it. And then the next person says, yeah, you shouldn't have. And now the guilt is just overwhelming you.
And that person next to you may be a family member. So what I feel like I hear a lot when it comes to negative feelings in food is the person relating it back to a family experience or a childhood experience. And just keeping in mind that, just like those habits were made in childhood, we can make new habits as adults.
I always say, be careful with what you say. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah, right. And I think everything is tied to, a lot of what we do is tied to a memory. So even, smells can remind us of a certain thing. Foods remind us of a certain thing. So, with that family, sometimes when that family thought was, no, you shouldn't be eating this, you shouldn't, and then you eat that memory comes back, and then that's what can also lead to the guilt.
And if you're looking for something to brighten up your mood, check out this fruit salad recipe. Yummy. And don't forget the mint. You got to put that mint in there. It makes a huge difference. Trust me, I've done it, and it's absolutely phenomenal.